Fractal VP4. I was given a beta testing unit. These aren't, I don't think, available in Europe just yet, but if you want to get on the wait list for it, get in touch with G66. I think they're expected relatively soon. I got a chance to gig this and I wanted to try this. Shout out to Andy Wood. I was actually using a modified version of his preset on here. So his preset, if you watch his demo of the VP4 and how he was using it, he was asked, and I think had permission to actually take it out. So that was why it ended up being used at the Guitar Summit, because they wanted Andy to road test it. He said in the video, shout out to Andy. So I had a pub gig, the Ship-In Lyme Regis, and the thinking was that I wanted to take my Fender Pro Reverb, and I would have ordinarily on this sort of gig used like a pedal board. Basically on this sort of gig, all I'm doing is kind of blending different sorts of drive levels and then delay. So the Fractal VP4 seemed like actually this could be a candidate. And when I tried the drives into my Pro Reverb, I was quite convinced. This is starting off as a Andy Wood preset. So I've still got his flanger here and also his multi-tap delay with the volume pedal, which is based on Andy Timmons's Halo. So you can, as you use the expression pedal, do all that, and there's also his flanger here. So in terms of modulation, so that can do that sort of thing. And if you have a bit of drive, okay, so other things going on. This turns on a Jan ray, so this kind of thing. Obviously a Jan ray is somewhat close to a Timmy, tube screamerish. Now if that's not appropriate, the cool thing in gig mode, you can press this and switch over to a different channel. So I could switch over to a Sir Riot. And so I kind of got plentiful different options for the drive stuff. And you know, sometimes in a set you want a bit more of a bluesy drive. Sometimes you need a bit more of a rocky thing. Okay, and then my lead tone, I'm going to kick on the Zen drive, and I think I could probably stack this. I've dialed it in so I could stack it with the Jan ray. Switch it to the Sir Riot for even more gain. What's really nice about this as a setup is that I've just got access to lots of different You know, of course you could have more presets set up, but I'm liking that there's that flexibility, you know, like with my board that I've got over there that has like 3 drive pedals on it. I can get that sort of vibe just with the VP4 like this. On the gig itself, it's actually a really, really easy Fractal unit to use, and I can't stress enough that they've actually streamlined the UI considerably. And so even just going in and making changes to like the level that a drive is at, you know, where you're thinking, right, actually that drive's at gig volume, possibly boosting things too much and my cleans are too quiet, then you can just get in there. And because they've simplified things so much, it's not like your average Fractal UI. They have really streamlined it, so that's I think worth knowing.
You also see that if you press page, once you're in these menus, page both directions, you've actually got the same tweakability, or pretty much the same, in this expert view. So if you're used to getting into the Fractal way of life, then don't fear, that is still there. It's just they've actually sort of stuck a layer on top, which is, I think, quite a lot easier to interface with. And you know, you're not having to worry particularly about like the grid or anything like that. You just, okay, well, I've got 4 slots, what do I do? It's kind of clever, I think. It's not that easy, I don't think, to actually design a UI and get it, you know, easy to work like that.
The 4 simultaneous effects thing for me is enough. Also had on the gig was a Van Wielden Royal Overdrive, but I was mostly using the drives from this, so I had a Janray and a Zen drive here, and the Royal Overdrive was just to for appearances. So yeah, it sounded great. The other thing, switching between effects is really like pretty good experience-wise. Did I have any issues with it? Absolutely none. So that's kind of the gig report. Quite a simple gig, as in terms of what I was asking the VP4 to do. Just a couple of drive blocks, a delay, the halo delay, and then on this side here I had a flanger just for a bit of spice sometimes. There's one thing that I was thinking, there's 3 parts of my preset which would probably always stay the same, and if I wanted to switch drives you can switch channels. This modulation part, the flanger, is maybe the part that I would change. And the thing is, if you're doing that, you can have like gapless changes through loads of presets. So I could just have like 4 or 5 presets where I change out that effect at the end. Yeah, it would be effectively like having, you know, more choices of effects because it's gapless between them all anyway. So I think, yeah, if you're a super effects hound that's using loads of effects on at a time, which is not what I do, I use a couple of drives on with a delay. It's never a case of stacking like 9 simultaneous blocks. The Zen drive particularly I was using for solos and it was just amazing. I put a volume pedal I think after this as well, so I should really put the volume pedal before maybe. No effects loop. It can be run in 4 cable method, which might be a way to integrate some effects if you've got other things that you're using and you don't want it to be stereo, which in most cases I think with 4 cable method you are likely, mostly, to be using something which is going to be mono anyway if you're putting it in like an amp or whatever in the loop, so maybe that's not a massive issue either.